Well, good afternoon, folks. Welcome back to the channel. Saturday the 13th of November. Geez, even forgot what month it was there. The light up until about half an hour ago was looking reasonable. Now it's looking rubbish. So we're back in the woods. Have a couple of hours to bimble. I'm thinking little intimate scenes maybe, but who knows? I think if I go in with expectations, I'll get expected results. So we'll just keep our minds and eyes open and see whether we can find anything. I think given the light today, a lot of this is just going to be more about kind of photographic exercise rather than any final image, but you never know. We shall go for a dander and seize what we seize. So images are going to be few and far between today. The light really is pretty poor. Came across this mossy coloured tree behind me here, and I just love the kind of really Medusa type sort of tentacles. But say the light's horrible. Just shooting a little handheld kind of recce shot. If you could get a lovely bit of sort of shaft of light coming in there, sort of darken the background, but there's sort of moss coloured bark and the moss coloured branches and things. But yeah, what has sort of pricked my interest a little bit, and we'll see whether we can maybe get something, is the bark of the trees and some of the lovely textures. So you never know, we might actually do something like that, but going for anything that is anyway a bigger view, nah. Plus, I don't know whether it's they just weren't doing the work during peak COVID times, but every woodland I seem to go to these days, a lot of forestry work going on, a lot of commercial logging going on. And since I was last here, a number of trees have been felled and the place has got a very shabby look to it. Not even shabby chic, just shabby. So yeah, I think it's going to be another one of these rambling, bumbling, nondescript vlogs. I know how to keep you entertained, don't I? Right, let's mosey on. So I was just looking down into kind of some of the sort of man-made destruction, and maybe that's what I should be capturing today. You know, the light's not really there at all. It's a very sort of place that looks like it's been really has seen the hand of man, and maybe that's the theme for today. Just making a couple of images just to show that. I don't know. But yeah, it's quite sad. And I know these woods, you know, a lot of the trees have been purposely planted for that, but it's you know, the scar that's left behind is pretty. Oh, and a big poo as well. Almost stood in that. But yeah, maybe that'll be a little bit of a theme for today's walk. Just that whole destruction and sadness, I guess. So hope you didn't come here for happy thoughts. Not very nice at all. So that really wasn't a very nice place to walk through. Just destruction and not very nice. So to try to lift my mood, I'm giving me permission to muck about with the camera. A bit of intentional camera movement, bit of in-camera double exposure, multiple exposure. We're just going to have a little bit of fun. We're just going to throw that camera around our head a couple of times and see what comes of it, because my mood needs lifted a little bit. And I just don't think taking regular shots in this place is really going to do that. So from now on, I think it's time to be a little bit more creative. You know, maybe we'll do some crazy underexposed stuff, maybe we'll do some overexposed stuff, maybe we'll do some multiple exposure, in-camera movement, unintentional camera movement, who knows. But we need something to lift the mood. So let's do that then. And again, one of the things I love about being out with a camera and fostering creativity, topic that I tried to record yesterday in the vlog, by the way, the whole life creative, is giving yourself permission just to experiment and play around and have a little bit of fun. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. Let's muck around with some of those in-camera multiple exposure settings on the X-T4. Let's play about with shutter drag and see what we can come up with. And heck, maybe we'll even push the boundaries a little bit in the old post-processing room as well. So, right, let's try and lift the mood a little bit. So the old mood is somewhat lifted as I start to make my way back to well, hopefully the car. I'm being picked up. Now, there's a term that goes around in photography, keepers. How many keepers did you get? Yeah, it's a day like today, and in fact, I would say most days, try not to think about keepers, because every image that I make, I'm hoping is some kind of stepping stone to, you know, the next image that I quite like. And days like today, where you're just mucking around with the in-camera multiple exposure and you really don't know what's going to come out of it. So you end up with going back to the home office and you have a whole bunch of images that, let's face it, probably will never see the light of day, including on this vlog. But I don't see those as wasted images, and I certainly don't see a little bimble like today out as a wasted time. And in fact, I was playing about actually with a 2-shot multiple exposure, but actually between the shots, not only changing my viewpoint, but dramatically changing the colour temperature as well, with the sort of rustic leaves and the cool water. That may have come out, at least on the back of the camera it looks reasonable. So, but yeah, I think it's just give yourself the opportunity to play, and the opportunity to maybe fall over. Because without play, I really do think that, I always go the wrong way here, I personally don't think I can grow as a photographer. If I'm just taking myself too seriously. Oh, hang on, even though there's only a GoPro, the arm's getting sore. I never take myself too seriously, but I think if we just go out every time looking for that incredible image, we are going to spend a lot of our time not only not necessarily enjoying our photography, but I don't think growing either. I think we have to give ourselves this opportunity to play, to muck around, to experiment. Because I think from there might just be something, a little sort of spark in our mind that leads to something else. What is it that Steve Jobs said about connecting the dots? Maybe it's only when we look back we can start to see the relationships between that. So, I forgot about the big hill, the big uphill. So I'm going to put you away again, and as I walk the last 3/4 of a mile or so back to the car, get the old X-T4 out again and see whether we can play about more with more creativity. But yeah, give yourselves the opportunity to play. It's good for you. So there you go, guys. A little bimble out in a pretty shabby wood under pretty meh conditions, but giving yourself permission to play, giving yourself permission to experiment, and giving yourself permission to have lots of images that will never see the light of day. But I'm not going to go home and delete those. I'm just going to see over time. Obviously I'll throw a couple, or I will have already probably thrown a couple up on the vlog, but I'll let these images just sit about on the hard drive, and you never know, something may or may not come of them at a later date. If not these images in particular, maybe something similar, but connecting those dots, I guess. But first and foremost, it was all about giving myself permission to play. Right, well, that is me done. Saturday, I'm gonna go back, and I think there may be tea and cake on offer, and I guess we'll catch up tomorrow, when of course we'll have 2 vlogs, a little brief 30 days creative catch up in the morning, and then the main vlog on Sunday evening. But that's tomorrow. It's a long way away. A lot of cake can be consumed before then. Right, guys, once again, thanks for following along. Give yourself permission to play, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.